Hello and welcome to this week's Craft and Chat. It's Tuesday, the 12th of March 2024. I'm live here on Facebook and on YouTube. If you are watching live, can you do me a sound and light check, please? And if you're watching the replay, thank you so much for joining me today. How are we doing? Busy day today. Finishing packing, getting ready to go to on stage in Rotterdam, bright and early tomorrow. So I'm at that kind of crazy stage. I'm sure you all know of packing to go somewhere and you've got stuff everywhere, and actually you just need 10 minutes to go and double check it all and make sure everything is okay. So I am just going to double check I'm live where I should be. So that looks good. So okay. And Lorraine is here. Hi, Lorraine. Apparently the sun is just trying to come out in Poole. It's been raining all morning here. Miserable day, really. So maybe the sunshine's coming our way. You've just sort of push it along the coast a bit, Lorraine. Hi, Elizabeth. She's saying that the sound and light is fine. Awesome. So tell me what you've been up to. What have you been up to at the weekend? We did loads of gardening at the weekend. Our potatoes are in, the shallots are in. We've started quite a few seeds in the greenhouse, so kind of the tender plants like tomatoes and cucumbers and things and peppers. And then what else have we got in the garden? Carrots, beetroot. I'm working my way through the veg bed, trying to figure out what else. Oh, parsnips. Parsnips are awesome because you put them in now and you're harvesting them next winter. So they're great. And I've put a few nasturtiums and marigolds in and amongst the veg, just hopefully to like confuse the carrot fly and keep the bugs off. Hi, Michelle. Are you packed? Michelle's a traveling buddy. Hello, Anne. It's miserable and wet in Suffolk. Chris, Angela are here as well, and it's dry in Newbury. Awesome. And good morning, Donna. So good morning. Goodness me. So have your clocks gone forwards or backwards? I'm expecting North American friends not to find us this week because their clocks went back, I think, an hour. No, forward an hour. I don't know. Whichever, spring forward, isn't it? So they've gone forward an hour and we don't go forward for an hour for another 2 weeks, is it? Does anyone know? I've kind of got the 23rd of March in my head. I could be wrong. Awesome. Michelle's all sorted out. Hooray. Yeah, I'm not. Awesome. Right. So, yeah. So tell me what you did at the weekend. Has anyone started gardening yet? I know because we're right on. If you don't know where I am, I'm right on I'm at the bottom of the UK, in between Portsmouth and Southampton. So we are pretty far south, and I know that we're a good 2 weeks ahead of a lot of the family in Nottingham and further north, Manchester and further north. So I know a lot of people won't have even started thinking about their veg patch and stuff yet. So yeah. So but do let me know if you've braved the garden. So I'm saying it's still the same. It's going to go back soon. So that's in Oz. Oh no, Anne. Anne saying her garden is more like a swamp. No, it is. It in lots of places it is really, really wet. Where we've been doing a lot of traveling since the beginning of the year up to family and things in Nottingham particularly. We've been driving through Oxford, and the amount of water and flooding in the fields is horrendous. Hello, Jana. It's wet and windy in Essex. Yeah, I don't know whether it's windy here, but it's definitely wet. Hi, Ali. Good to see you. Lorraine celebrated Christmas at the weekend. I love that. With her immediate family, as well as Mother's Day in the Cotswolds, and there were 13 of us. Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, I think we're going to get to a point, I think, at some point where we celebrate Christmas at different times of the year as well. Because as the family, grows and moves and stuff, sometimes it's not as easy to get together in the winter time. So that's really cool. That is a wonderful. Okay, so I've got quite a bit of crafting to do. So I'm not going to chat for very long. Because I just want to make sure that I can show you the things that I want to show you today. Hi, Lisa. But sort of Stampin' Up wise, let me kind of give you a bit of an update. So the two catalogs that we've got, so the mini catalog and the annual catalog, they're both finishing at the end of April. This week, demonstrators will get to see the new catalogue, but we can't send it out to you guys and for a few weeks yet. So I send out my paper copies of the catalogue. It'll be the tail end of April. I'll put them in the post. Now, I have emailed everybody who's on my list to invite them to fill out my form to get a paper copy of the catalogue. And it's a Google form and it's really easy to do. But basically what it does is it makes me a little spreadsheet. And then I can just put that into the Royal Mail and print off the labels. And it's brilliant. Brilliant thing. It also means that I've got the right address, because the system doesn't always capture your new address, and particularly where people have moved in the past year or couple of years, then I just need to make sure I've got the right address. And the way I can be sure is if you type it. So you should have had the email. If you haven't, check in your spam. And if you still can't find it, then send me an email and I will email you the link. Okay, so that's the catalogue. So that means we are going to have a last chance list. Now, the last chance list, we will see it and I can send it out to you next week. It's my understanding, but I haven't had it confirmed anywhere yet. So this is what Amanda thinks is going to happen, as opposed to what is going to happen. It's my understanding that although the last chance list is will be in existence, the discounts on the list won't go live until sometime in April. So I think it's like the first week of April, but I'm not sure. So I'm sure Stampin' Up will confirm that all with us. As soon as I know for sure, you will know, because I email you. But just so that you know, as soon as I know, then you'll know. But the thing I've been banging on about for weeks is please get your retiring in colours, because people will be sad that they haven't got the re-inkers. So just get that sorted out. Get an order in and make sure that you've got the colours that you want. And if there's anything else that you're desperate for, then make sure you order it now rather than wait until it goes on the retired list, because then there's no guarantee you'll get it. Okay, so that's the retired list. All right, I'm trying to remember everything. So retired list, catalogues, bog off sale, my in-person bog off sale, as opposed to my online. My in-person bog off sale is taking place on the 20th of April. The booking is on my blog. Hang on, there you go, www.inspiringinking.com. It's just 5 minutes from my house in Cattersfield. It's where I hold all my in-person classes. It's £5, and included in your £5 is we're going to make a couple of cards. We're going to make a new colour chart for the new in colours. You'll get obviously a copy of the catalogue, and you'll be able to shop my bog off. Everyone is welcome, so do purchase your ticket, and I will see you on the 20th of April. Now, if you are one of my awesome long distance customers, then don't worry, there will be an online bog off sale in the summer. And you may remember last year I did a bog off sale, and then we had a mystery class and things. So I'm kind of tempting towards that thing. I don't know. But I haven't finalized any plans yet. We've got a few things changing within Stampin' Up and different things happening, and I'm just taking one thing at a time and making decisions, making changes as we go. So don't worry, it's quite normal that things aren't sorted out yet for the summer. It's only March. We've got ages. Okay, so I'm just checking to see if there's anything else that I've forgotten. I don't think so. Obviously, my out of office is going to be going on fairly shortly, actually, and I will be back on Monday, probably. I will be home by then, but sometime it depends what I've got to do, whether my out of office comes off on Monday or off on Tuesday. But I will be here next Tuesday. So that is all good. Okay, so let's see. Sue's here. Hello. Lisa's here. Hello. And Anne is here. She's popping in just before she's got an appointment. Awesome. Okay, so if you've got any questions or anything you want to know about anything. Hi, Helen. Will I see you tomorrow? Tomorrow, Thursday, maybe Thursday. I'm getting distracted now because I'm thinking about Rotterdam. Oh, just kind of important. Whilst I'm away, sometimes I get the opportunity to share stuff. Now, Stampin' Up's very good at keeping secrets, and sometimes we're not allowed to share stuff, and sometimes we can. So if you want to know kind of what's happening in real time, as opposed to me telling you everything next Tuesday, it's likely to be on Facebook that I post and Instagram. So chances are I'll post on Instagram and it will post it to Facebook as well. So if there's cute stuff that I can share with you, if there's lots of pictures of smiley faces of demonstrators, because we get together and we're very happy. So and the occasional picture of food, or maybe a windmill, because that is definitely on the list, then I will see what I can do. But I try I try really hard to be focused on the event itself. So if I am going to post, it will normally be later on in the day and stuff, kind of when everything's finished. So we'll see. I don't know. I'm not promising, but check my Instagram or check Facebook. Inspiring Inkin everywhere. So whether it's Instagram or Facebook or anywhere, really. Yeah, Helen. Awesome. I can't wait either. We're crafting on Thursday evening, which is really cool. Hi, Anita. Lovely to see you. Okay, so what I thought I would do today is showcase Simply Zinnia. Now, I showed you the papers and the sparkles and the stamps last week when I showed you the sneak peeks. But today I'm actually going to do some crafting and show you the dies as well and how they kind of layer and so on. Now, my lovely customers that are doing craft along with me in a couple of weeks, firstly, don't worry that your kit will not come out this week. It'll be out next week because somebody might be a little bit behind. It'll be out in time for the class. Don't worry. But if you are doing craft along with me, you will be getting the papers as part of your kit and some die cuts. So pay attention to the way the die cuts work. But I'm going to show you all the things, make a couple of cards. And Mum's swooped in. Hello, Pauline to everyone else, but Mum to me. Mum is here. So that's really cool. Okay, so let's turn this camera around. I've got baskets of stuff. Oh, and in other important news, BT are coming to fit the full fibre a week on Friday. So not this week, not this Friday, next Friday. I'm really pleased because it would have been a real pain if they'd have come to do it when I was away. So I am really looking forward to that. Okay, so let's start out. So this is the stamp set. You've got 4 images and 3 sentiments. So you've got this big floral, it's sort of a bunch, and then some leaves and the flower, and then the little teeny weeny stars there. Then there's the dies as well. There's also an embossing folder. Now, for some reason, and I do not know why, because this is a square and it makes no sense to me. The image is on sideways. So you can't really see. Let me just see if I can show you. Here you go. So that's the image, but it's actually that way. So when you put it in your die cutting machine, your paper needs to go that way. If you put your paper in that way, that's okay if it's going to be a landscape card, but I don't understand. So if you buy this, I need you to check and see whether or not yours is the same, whether I've just got a special one. I don't know. But there's the embossing folder as well. And I talked about this last week as well. This is one of my favorite new stamp sets as well, called Sweetly Scripted. So I am going to do a little bit of stamping and colouring in first. Okay. So I've got my blends. So as always, if you're using blends, you use Memento ink. Do not use a solvent-based ink with solvent-based colouring products, because it'll be a pain. Oh, hang on, I'm just getting a piece of paper to rest on. It will basically, what will happen is it will bleed the stamped image. So I have pre-prepared, I've stamped the sentiment and then embossed it. Don't try embossing it and then stamping it, because it'll be really bumpy. But that's basic white. And I've got a Daffodil Delight card blank. I've stamped the inside, and I have stamped and die cut the flowers. Okay. So I'm going to, when I do the next card in a minute, I will show you. Yeah, when I do the next card in a minute, I'll show you all the different dies. But the 3 images that you can stamp, there is a die to cut them out as well. Okay, but I'll go over those in a minute. Okay. So let me move those out the way. That out the way. Okay, so in the blends, let's just kind of do a bit of a recap on blends. So blends are Stampin' Up alcohol markers. They come in sets of 2, a light and a dark, but we don't have them in every colour. We have them in a lot of colours, but not every colour. And all of the markers that we sell are designed to be stored flat like this. Don't stand them on their end, because they all have a central reservoir of ink. And if you do that, all the ink will run to the bottom and the top will dry out. So you don't want to do that. And then on the pen itself, you've got 2 lines. So you've got a skinny line and a fat line. Now the skinny line is a bullet tip. Now this is the tip that I recommend that you use mostly, and it's the tip that I recommend that you use when you're actually blending. The other end, the wide line, is a brush tip. It's much softer. It's good for laying down large areas of colour, but I wouldn't blend with it, because you can end up mashing the tip. Okay. So I'm just going to make up my my zinnia flower. So I'm just going to cover the whole thing in daffodil. Just to give it a base color. Now for me, when I'm coloring in, the reason that I use blends more than my other markers is because I don't end up with lines. So that is a really good thing. So I'm just laying down color this daffodil first, and then I'll come in with the other stuff. This image is much smaller. If I bring this up, that image obviously is much smaller. So I'm going to need to use the bullet tip to get kind of in those little spaces. Now, lots of people have lots of different ways of doing their colouring in. And at the end of the day, the best way to colour in is the way that makes you most happy. Now, I am not a trained artist. I just love playing. So for me, I just think about what I want my flower or whatever it is that I'm colouring in to look like. And basically, for these 3 flowers here, I want it to be paler on the edges and get darker in the center. Now, if I was a really sensible person, I would have printed out a picture of a zinnia and I could have figured out how the colors work. But for me, I'm just happy just to color it in the colors of my imagination as opposed to the colors it's supposed to be. So I'm just going to go over the edges of this. So this is actually going to kind of go in reverse. So this is going to be dark on the outside edges and in the center. So let me just show you there. I've got my color in. So now I'm going to go in. So this is pumpkin pie. So this is light pumpkin pie. And I'm just coloring in the center. And they have like these little star sections. And I'm sure somebody will know what they are. Let me lift this one up. You'll be able to see better. So what are these little stars? Can anybody tell me what they are? They'll have a name and somebody will know it. Or somebody will be fast and Google it. So, as well as colouring in those stars, I'm just using my bullet tip to go along the shading of the stamp. And it just softens and blends and works really well. And if you think, oh, that's a bit too harsh, then go back with a lighter colour and just pull it out. Now, in the pre-Stampin' Up days, or should I say the Stampin' Up days before we had alcohol markers, I was taught whenever you use alcohol markers to always color in one direction. You just keep going in one direction. You don't go backwards and forwards because that can ruck up the paper and actually you're just moving the ink backwards and forwards. Whereas if you just go in one direction, that gives you a nice blend. So I'm going to take the darker pumpkin pie now and just do that in the very center. Like that. So that one's done. And then I'm just going to do the same here on this one. Okay, Sue's saying I'm frozen on Facebook Am am I frozen anywhere else? Can you check for me, please? I'm going to carry on and hope that it was just a little glitch. So now I'm going in with my Old Olive, and this is Old Olive Light. So what I'm going to do is lay down a whole the whole leaf and stem image in this lighter color. Then I'm going to go in with my darker one on the darker lines and then blend with the light again. And to be honest, that's the way I tend to work. I tend to make sure that there's a base color in first and then add in additional colors. Okay, or additional shading, should I say? Okay. So I'm still live on YouTube and okay for Donna on Facebook and Anne on Facebook. Okay. Hopefully, Sue, hopefully it was just your internet having a moment. Let me know if you're back. Now, when I've put this darker color down, I'm going to show you, because you might look at it and be a bit scared actually, because it's quite dark. Now, obviously, I'm not going to leave it like that. So I'll just bring in the light again. And remember what I said about pulling it just in one direction. And it will just soften it. There we go. So it's interesting, as I'm looking in the screen, some of these dark areas actually look darker than they do in person. So I'm just going to quickly go over them a little bit more. And by the time I finish today, it will dry. So as the alcohol evaporates, the colors will change a little bit. Okay, so let's just get this all put together. Thank you, Anne. So let's just add that. Okay. I've got my sparkles. They are so lovely. I just love these little sequins. We've had them a few times with different things, but just the tiny addition of a little bit of sparkle is just really good. Oh, Alison, Ali, thank you. Saying lovely colouring. I love to colour, I have to say. It is just a really nice, relaxing thing to do. But I'm actually not one of those people that can kind of colour in front of the telly or anything like that. Because I do sort of have to concentrate. But for me, the blends just make it so I want to colour. You know? So before I would have to do watercolouring to get that kind of effect. I could never get that kind of effect with normal markers. Just not skilled enough to be able to do that. So there you go. So there's my finished card. We made a similar version in my card class this month. So this is actually kind of the reverse. There's much more orange on this one, and I've used an old olive card base, and then that is the best family ever. So awesome. Okay, so let me put that away. Put that away. Oh, I just need that in a minute. Okay, so let's look at these dies. All right, I need that. Not those. Okay. So there are 15 dies. And look, I've got a little bowl of bits. So the first 2 dies, obviously you know about this one. That cuts out that. That cuts out the leaves. And then this one cuts out the flower, but also it cuts out what you can use as a base for your zinnia. So I'll leave that one there because that can be used as a base. I'm just going to put these back in as we go. Okay, so we've got a stem. Let's do the green bits first. That's the leaves that you can cut out stamped, but they also have this, which you can layer on the top if you want to give a bit more dimension to your leaves, or you can use that with the little stars. If I can get them out. So there's a little ta-da. These are never going to stay on my hand. My hand's not that steady. But look, can you see? This would make good coral as well. For those of you that like multiple uses. So that's like your 5 stars. Now, obviously, these can also go over the center part of the flower. So we'll come on to that in a second. So there's also an individual leaf, but this one's got texture on it. And then you've got this piece as well. which you can add on. So you've got kind of leaf-wise, you've got all sorts of options. And then you've got this, which is beautiful, which is like a bud. So it's designed to have that piece. Ooh. And that piece, I think that piece goes underneath to make it a little flower. So that's those. I'm going to show you all of these actually used in a minute. So they will all kind of make sense. And then to build up your flower, you've got 2 sets of petals. So they lay one on top of another to give you dimension. You can, as I say, put them on top of the original one as well. And then you've got the center of the flower, which goes there. So you could have it like that. And then you've got these little star pieces, which go over the top as well. So to show you better, what I thought I would do is I've got a blending brush. And I thought what I'd do is I would just do a bit of blending on these layers so you can see the definition a bit more. So you've got that one. You can see that's sort of layered there. And then if I put a bit more ink on that one, you'll be able to see the 3 layers. Oh, famous last words, can't lift it up. So you've got that one and that one and that one. Does that make sense? And then I like it with a really darker inner. So if you put that down, it does not want to lift up today. Ugh! Like so. And then that on the very top, nice and pale. So the dimension that you can get is huge from these pieces, which is really cool. Okay, so move those out of the way. Put all of those away. And put my dies away. Had a bit of a heart attack earlier. I thought I was missing one of the dies. And it was stuck to the back of a piece of paper. Found it. Okay. So let me get this out. And I've been talking to my team this week about what new colours they want to see in the new in colours. And as I was making this card, I was wishing for chocolate chip. And for those of you that have been around since the dinosaurs, like me, you will know all about chocolate chip. And as much as I love early espresso, it's not chocolate chip. So I want chocolate chip back, please. So if somebody could arrange that for me, I'd be very grateful. Okay, so let's start out with the little bud. So you've got 2 pieces. The smaller piece is designed to go on the top of the large bit. I'm going to use my embossing tool just to the fat end of it, just to sort of give this a little bit of dimension. It's going on the inside of the card. I don't want it to have too much dimension, but equally I don't want it to be flat. So pick up a glue dot. Come on. Pick up a glue dot. Pop that down. And then another glue dot and stick it behind the little base of the bud. Look how beautiful that is. It's so cool. So I'm just going to put a little bit of Tombow. I'm just going to put that on the inside. So I often decorate the insides of my cards with pattern paper or stamped images, but why not put a die cut piece? Okay, so that's for the inside. Ooh, let's just pop that in straight up. Then I've got, this is Bubble Bath. I've started using pink. I know, not too much, but a little bit. But this is such a lovely pink shade. Okay, so that's an embossed layer onto a very vanilla layer. And then I'm going to put that on the front of the card because basically everything else that I'm building is going on a tag. So I'm going to show you that in a second. So that's going to go on the front there like that. Now don't be afraid when you're layering to use your vanilla or your white as a matte layer, particularly if you've got something embossed and coloured. And I've got this, which is crumb cake, and this is a tag from TaylorMade Tags. Lots of different tags and little round reinforcing holes and things. So that's really cool. And I've got this ribbon, and I checked this ribbon today. Whenever I talk about products, I'm talking about what's in stock in Europe. For those of you that are watching me in different markets in North America or in, so that's the USA and Canada, or in Australia and New Zealand, you have different warehouses. So I don't know, it might be in stock in my warehouse, but not necessarily in yours. This is called the Satin Edged Ribbon in gold. It's just so soft. I just thought it would be really pretty. And I've got a bit of linen thread. What I'm going to do is tie that. Ooh. Tie it up and put a little bow on. So I've actually kind of got like 2 bits of embellishment here, you know, and I don't think you can go wrong with linen thread anyway. But I just wanted something that was a bit more, just gave me a bit more texture. I'll trim that off, or when I decide sort of where this is going to go here. I'm going to stamp, and I hadn't decided whether or not I'm going to use my big happy birthday. I don't think it's going to fit, to be honest. Hang on. I don't think, no, it's going to fit. I didn't think it would. So I've got a happy birthday and a congratulations. I need a congratulations card. But I think I'm going to put happy birthday on because I always need more happy birthday cards. And I'm going to put it on an angle. There we go. So that's early espresso. So that's going to go on the card like so. So I've stamped it on an angle because the tag's on an angle, but I want that to be straight. Am I making any sense? You'll have to let me know. Okay, so now I'm going to build my flower. Let me just move that out of the way. Now, what I've done, actually, I'm going to flip this over because we've got yellow there and I don't want to run the risk of picking up the yellow ink. What I've done is I've cut everything in bubble bath and in vanilla. And I only want one flower. But I wasn't sure whether I would, how I was going to layer it up. So let's see. Yeah. So I'm going to give this a little bit more color. Remember, I was the previous flowers, I was doing lighter at the edges and then getting darker and darker. So I'm actually going to make the center in bubble bath and really make that dark. And then leave this piece paler again. So let me lift that up. So you would leave it like so. Or you could use different colors. And actually what I might do, I might add an additional layer underneath. I might have 3 layers. So let's just make that a little bit pink. Because, you know, why have 2 layers when you can have 3? Yeah, that just gives it a little bit more dimension. So let's layer this all up. So what I'm doing is just sort of twisting the layers around. You can obviously sort of curl them. You can use the embossing tool, ball tool, if you want to, or your bone folder. But whenever you're working with things like this, just be careful because you can end up pulling one of the petals off and then you'll be sad, particularly if you've already colored it and done everything with it. So by using glue dots, what this is actually doing for me is giving me a tiny bit of dimension, but not like having a dimensional in there. So, oh, come on, Tombo. There we go. So there's the flower, but I'm going to put the little stars on now. Like so. And those little die cut stars, they will actually fit over the top as well. that make sense there? So you can have different colours and everything if you want to. There we go. Okay. So let's need a new Tombow. Okay, so pop that down. Let's look at the positioning. So that's going to go there. Let's put those in. Da, da, da. Sometimes you just have to play around with it until it looks right. And then you can stick it down. Definitely need a new Tombow. Okay. Right, so I'm going to stick this with dimensionals. And then I'll be able to trim the ribbon. And then we will be all done. Let's just move all the rubbish out of the way. And the ink pads. And anything that could compromise the finished card. Because we know if there is ink to be had, I will find it. Okay. So let's just trim that off. I'm just going to bring it down a touch. There we go. And there is your second card. See, we've got the 3 layers there. And there's your other one. Move all of this out of the way. Da, da, da. Thank you, Ali. Thank you, Donna. Let me bring them both up. Thank you. Awesome. Okay, so I will be back here next week. And don't be surprised if you get my out of office, like I said, over the next few days, because obviously I'll be in Rotterdam. I will check my emails, but as a general rule, it's normally when I get back that I answer. Oh, Ali, you're right. Where's my bling on? Bling, bling. I don't know. Where did it go? I buried it. Well remembered. You see, I've got pink. Shall we put a pink one down there? A little pink one up there. A little pink one up there. How about that? There you go. Thank you for reminding me. Awesome. Brilliant. Thank you. I am thrilled that you've loved the cards. I will see you back here next week. As I said, check out my Instagram and Facebook to see any updates that I can share. And Tales of Rotterdam. Excuse me. And I'll see you next week. Take care till then. Goodbye.